I woke up one morning and I just rolled my head out of the tent, and right there in front of me were 3 moose standing in the river water. You know, you could smell them, you could hear them. I mean, as a filmmaker, it's one thing. I mean, first of all, the gift is just seeing those moments. So, you know, right on, no matter what happens. I just saw that and that was amazing. But when you can actually bring that moment and your camera together and actually nail it, like not just get a shot, but a good shot, it's nirvana, man. It's magic.
When I left on this journey, I felt like we used to live in a society and now we live in an economy, and it lost all its meaning for me.
Is this what you call a midlife crisis? Day 50.
I left Newfoundland in 2015 on a 24,000 kilometer journey across this land.
Dianne's been on a 5-year solo trek across Canada. She's documenting this. This is a film that she's making. So maybe first thing you could do is paint that picture for us. What does it look like? What does a day look like with Dianne?
I can tell you that the journey has changed a lot from the very beginning. When I left, I really was solo. I didn't have any money. I'm an independent filmmaker. I was applying for grants, but I owned my own equipment, and I mean, I'm a cinematographer and I know how to make films by myself. So off I went on this long journey. Because I'm moving between mountain bike riding, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, mountain bike riding, and of course, I think close to 8,000 kilometers I would have paddled in a canoe. I need help moving between these different things, but I can tell you that that help is extremely grassroots. Nobody's getting paid, including myself out here. This film is being made by the currency of kindness. And that's what's so cool about all of it. And at first, of course, I was afraid of that. I'm like, how am I going to make a film this way? But actually, you know, one of the first lessons I learned on this journey was you are what you carry in your heart. Like whatever we create, wherever we're going, it is completely influenced by what we carry in our heart. And I was told that by a Mi'kmaq elder named Danny Paul. I got to Cape Breton after doing Newfoundland about 4 months into the journey. And I thought that I wanted to do this journey the old way. And I thought the old way meant walking, paddling, like no engines, you know, just like slow it right down and connect again instead of just whoo, you know, and reconnect to myself, connect to the environment. Ever since I left on the journey as well, I really wanted to pay my respects to the ancestors of this land and look as an artist as a way of finding a more inclusive story. I think really that's what our job is as storytellers, is to find a story that helps carry us into the future. And I think that story is broken right now.
I was looking for wisdom, but I didn't know I was going to find that wisdom in First Nation communities and in the old way of the relationship to the earth.
The eye of science and the eye of Indigenous knowledge, they need to work together in order to get a more clear picture of the ecosystem. It goes back to that same question you're asking, is what have we forgotten? We've forgotten to listen. Because if you listen to the land, she speaks to you.
I think it's hard for us to see the big picture because we're so finite in our own existence. But not only are we connected by the fact that we all live on this planet, so we all share the same land and water, but we're also all connected in that we're also all tomorrow's ancestors. And that comes with a responsibility. Where I find my hope is in Indigenous communities and in some of the traditional Indigenous wisdom in terms of how we can live compatibly with the earth.
Take us back, if you could, 5 years ago, when you first knew it was done, everything was in place. You knew you were going to embark on this journey.
Yeah.
Can you share that moment with us, if you could, please?
Sure. Well, I don't know if anybody here ever looks at a tarot deck, but there's one character called the Fool, and that was me when I left on this journey 5 years ago. there's something about human passion, you know, like we get these grand ideas and there's nothing stopping us until, of course, you take your first step and go, oh my God, like what have I gotten myself into here? So when I left, I had way too much weight on my mountain bike. I was trying to carry an entire film studio and all my gear. And it turns out you don't need 3 pairs of pants. Maybe you just need one. I don't know. So the first 10 days, you know, I was kind of like a little bit more type A personality when I left too, like 500 days in the wild has turned into 5 years. So clearly there was a shift in there somewhere. And
Yeah.
right. So I left thinking, okay, I got my little schedule. So if I go 50 kilometers a day, you know, that's what we got to hit. And so it was day 10. And I realized I hadn't even hit the end of day 1 yet on my schedule. So I had to have a really sober moment with myself. And I'm just like, okay, what's this all about? Like, what's the schedule all about? And does it really matter? And why did you even create this thing anyway? And I lit a little fire and I just burned the schedule. It just said, let it go, D. It's not why you're out here. You're not out here for athletic achievement or anything. I'm out here as an artist trying to make a film.
There are dangers out here. My clothes on. I got the bear spray.
We wish you no harm.
Dee, did you ever find yourself wanting to give up? How many times did you ever look within yourself and say, who am I kidding?
Never. Partly because in order to make this journey, I had to get rid of all my bills. So you make a list of every bill you pay every month and go, okay, I got to get rid of all of these because I'm going to go out and make this film. I have no money. Usually you have to die to lose all your bills. And I can tell you, like, the best advice I can give all of you is for 1 year, do it. Just wow. Like, who wants to run back to that? Right now, I'm like, can I build a tree fort? Like, how can I live for free? Like, I don't want to go back to paying all those bills. Like, it's just crazy. Like, work to pay for something that you're not even in because you're working. And it actually stopped making sense to me. And this makes sense. I mean, when I'm out here and I'm just this small little human being and there's this massive world out here with birds and animals and trees and flowers, I know my place. It's humbling.
Sometimes you just need a helping hand, eh? We're in this together. 2 little fragile spirits.
What's been the most physically challenging thing that you've had to do in this crazy journey of yours?
Every morning getting out of my tent, Angelo, is physically demanding. I got to roll and slowly unroll my body. I mean, for sure, I feel 55 years every time I wake up in the morning. But, you know, it's just like once the engine gets going and you start moving, it all starts feeling better. But no, I mean, I kept thinking, oh, well, this pain is going to go away after I get in shape. But I guess, I mean, it's 5 years and I'm still hurting. So I don't know. I don't think so.
I keep hearing every time I hear you say 5 years, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, me too.
You know, if I'm on the road for 5-6 days in a row anymore, I want to hang myself. Back home, you're talking 5 years.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible. I had no idea. Like, you know, hindsight, right? If I had known it was going to take me this long, would I have ever started it? I don't know. A lot of interesting things, though. When I left Newfoundland, I remember looking at the map and going, okay, here I'm close to a community. Oh, okay, great. I'll feel safe there. Oh, there, I'll be so close to a community. I'll feel safe there. Oh, in this section, I'm going to be way in the middle of nowhere. Ooh, I'm a bit scared of that. Interesting. Within about 6 months into the journey, it was like, looking at a map going, ooh, I'm going to be close to a community. Yuck. I'm kind of scared of that. Oh, good. Then I'm going to be out in the middle of nowhere. Phew, it'll be great.
That's
huge
right.
Paradigm shift in terms of where I felt safe and where I felt threatened.
No, it sounds, you know, like you started 5 years ago on this adventure, and it has taken on an entirely different personality and character as it's grown. And from what I'm hearing in your words, a lot of that is almost spiritual. Is that
Yeah.
right?
I think so. Grand Chief of the Mi'kmaq people, he met me on the shores of the Bredor Lake in Cape Breton after I paddled. It took me 40 days to paddle that lake. And it was amazing. You know, I didn't know he was going to be there. He welcomed me to the land. He gifted me a feather. And he did. He said, you know, what you carry in your heart, like if every step you take on the earth, like every time you're taking a stroke of your paddle, every time you're walking on the land, he said, every step on the trail, we said, the earth is sacred, the earth is sacred, the earth is sacred. Every stroke of our paddle on the lake, every stroke of the paddle in the water is sacred, the water is sacred. And he said, if you carry that in your heart on this journey, you will be safe. And I've done that. And whenever there's any fear, if I start feeling fear, I don't feed the fear. I start going, the earth is sacred, the earth is sacred, the water is sacred, the water is sacred, the earth is sacred.
How do you top this? How do you follow this act?
Well, I mean, I'm out here making a film, right? So the only thing harder than this trail, as you know, Angelo, will be for me to find the money to finish this film in post-production and then to get it out there to the world. And as an independent, that's a massive endeavor. Docklands is a film festival run by the California Film Institute. 500 Days is the only Canadian film project that made the finals. And it's I know, and you helped. Thanks, Angelo. And regardless of the outcome, I got to tell you that the number of people who voted for this project and let me know that they voted for this project made my heart very soft. I had a few tears. You can feel pretty alone out here sometimes, and just knowing that people just came out of the woodwork to vote for us. I just want everyone to know that voted for us that how touched and how soft that made my heart. I have affiliated myself now with Canadian Parks and Wilderness because they're a nonprofit society, they're non-political, they're all just about saving Canadian parks and wildlife and areas for wildlife to live and, you know, protecting our waters. So we have the exact same message. And it's this very sincere collaboration, and they have a nonprofit. They're nonprofit. So that means if you feel called and if you're inspired by this journey and you want to help, you can make a tax-free donation through the CPAWS website. And some of that money, 15% of that money will go to them. Some of that money comes to me. And the money that comes to me is all going into post-production. I don't need a lot of money to live out here. I'm a very simple person. But post-production costs money. I can do production from the kindness of people, but post-production, as you know, Angelo, there's only one. I need do, re, mi for the post-production. I got to pay editors, and it's got to get color corrected and sound mixed and all of that. Come this far, we're going to make a beautiful piece of art. So if you feel called and you want to make a donation, you can do that through CPAWS. You're going to be helping a great nonprofit, and you're going to help this film get made. And I'm going to put everybody's name who donates is going on the credit list, because without you, I can't do it.
If this show so far has not moved you, there is no help. There is no help for you. Take care, Dave. Ciao.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Wonder what all the other 50-year-old women are doing today.